जी, तो Aston, Brutus and Caesar have been in partnership for many years, sharing profit and losses in the ratio of 2 to 1, which is 2/5, 2/5, and 1/5. So we are basically doing the topic of business purchase, and in that we have started dissolution of partnership, that how the partnership is going to be dissolved, also known as closure of the partnership. सबसे पहले हम क्या करते हैं कि all assets and liabilities will be transferred to realization account at their book value, मतलब balance sheet value. Then even third party liability will be transferred to realization account if a partner has given a loan, which is given written over here, loan from Aston, that will not be transferred to realization account. Then the assets are sold, and whatever amount we are receiving, that will be written. Like land and building were sold for 2,17,000, plant and machinery for 25,000, motor vehicles were disposed of as follows: 1 to Aston and 1 to Brutus at an agreed value of 4,000 each. That has been basically taken over by Aston and Brutus at an agreed value of 4,000, with the remainder motor vehicle being sold for 5,000. The remainder motor vehicle are sold for 5,000. The inventory was sold for 18478. This is the question which has come in A2 accounting in the chapter of dissolution of partnership, and October November 1441 is the year. Two customers who owed the partnership 590 and 450 were unable to settle their debts. These are bad debts. Beta, bad debts is an expense for the business. But as we are discussing dissolution of partnership, so we are not supposed to record any expense. That will be subtracted from the trade receivables. So trade receivable has been decreased, and the remaining customers have also been decreased by 2% discount. Yani we will subtract the 2% discount, and that amount will be taken up or received by the partnership, and the entry will be banked to realization account. यानी ट्रेड रिसीवेबल से जो आपको पैसे मिल रहे हैं उसमें से आप 550 590 माइनस करेंगे, 450 माइनस करेंगे, और फिर 2% डिस्काउंट माइनस करने के बाद whatever the amount left, we will receive that amount with the entry bank to realization. All of the trade payables were paid after they allowed a 5% discount, and total cost of dissolution is 2250. The entry will be realization to bank for both the, lekin trade payables are supposed to be paid 22840 into 5%. That will be subtracted, and that amount will be paid through the entry realization to bank. So let's start the question. First thing we are supposed to do, that we are going to transfer all the assets and liabilities to realization account. So land and building 2,10,000, plant and machinery 27,950, motor vehicle 11,352. So let's do it. Realization account debit, land and building credit. Next is plant and machinery, motor vehicle. Right? So these are assets will be credited. Then inventory 17632, trade receivable 9340. I will credit inventory 17632. Baki amounts I will just write it down. And trade receivable will also be given a credit with an amount of 9340. Then we will look for land and building, plant and machinery, and motor vehicle. The 2,10,000, 27,950, and 11,352. 2,10,000, 27,950, and 11,352. टोटल कर लें इसका, तो क्या करेंगे मुस्तफा? We will transfer all the assets except cash and bank to realization account, and from there they are going to be disposed of. Disposed of means that we will be able to, we are selling those assets actually to get the amount. And now, after transferring the entries, everything is going to be dealt through realization account. So let's make the total of all the assets, and we are going to debit the realization account with the total of the all assets. Yes, 8258642. Now I have to transfer the liabilities to realization account. Remember that they are going to be third party liability. So that is only the trade payables actually, because cash and cash equivalent will not be transferred. Loan from Aston will not be transferred. It's a partner's loan. Trade payables are going to be transferred 22840. So trade payables liability will be transferred. Liability credit होती है, debit हो जाएगी. Realization account is going to be credit. कौन सा ये वाला. अच्छा, total is wrong actually. Okay. D 276 274. Okay. So this is how I have passed the two entries, and these two entries are compulsory in case of dissolution. You have to transfer the assets and liabilities to realization account. Even the question has, examiner didn't ask you to go for it. Now, land and building were sold for 2,17,000. So the entry will be bank to realization account. Sir, again, we are going to pass single entry to transfer all the amounts or to get the amount collected from the assets. You can do that also, but I'm going for separate entries. 2,17,000. So bank will be debited 2,17,000. Here the realization account is going to be credited 2,17,000. Then again bank to realization account, that is 25,000. 25,000 bank to realization account. Second, next is motor vehicle were disposed of as follows: one to Aston and one to Brutus at an agreed value of 4,000 each. So these are the vehicles which has been taken over by Aston and Brutus. Let's do it. I will pass the entry, that is Aston capital account debit and realization account credit. Why, sir? Because that particular all motor vehicles are already transferred to realization account. So now everything is going to be dealt through realization account. 4,000 and 4,000. Why Aston capital account is debited? Because the motor vehicle which he has taken over, that will be subtracted from his capital account. So I will pass, Brutus capital account to realization account. That is for the second person. Again, that is 4,000. I didn't write the capital, no matter. And the other vehicles, that motor vehicle has been sold for 5,000. So the entry is going to be bank debit. The normal entry for the to collect the amount from the asset, and realization account will be credited by 5,000. Right? Next, let's talk about it. The inventory was sold for 18,478. Again, the asset has been sold. So I'll pass the entry bank debit, and realization account is going to be credited. Inventory won't come because we have already transferred the entry in realization account. So now everything is going to be dealt through realization account. 18,478, 18,478. Okay. Next is two customers who owed the partnership 590 and 450 were unable to settle their debts. The remaining credit customers paid in full after receiving a 2% discount. So let's discuss that. Trade receivables which are given in the question, they are 9340. So what I will do, 9340 मानूर इसमें से हम फातिमा माइनस कर देंगे 590. लेट्स डू इट. एंड मुस्तफा 9340 minus 590. Badgets हो गए. They are no more your trade receivable. Minus 450. What amount will come? 8300. I will calculate 2% of this, and that will also be subtracted from 8300 to get the amount which is actually received from trade receivables. जो माइनस करनी है जी, 8300 minus 166, 8134. Thank you. 8134 is the amount. So I will write it. The entry is going to be the same, that is bank to realization account 8134, and realization account is going to be credited. This is the amount actually we have received from the trade receivables. Okay, now let's move forward. All of the trade payables were paid after they allowed a 5% discount. So let's see what are the amount of trade payables. 22840. So you need to calculate 22840 into 5% and then subtract it. And then you can pass the entry for realization account debit and bank credit, because you are making the payment actually. You are making the payment to your trade payables. So the entry is going to be realization account debit and bank is going to be credit. Let's see. Here it is. जी डिस्काउंट निकालना ना पहले. 2250 is cost of dissolution, but 5% discount. 22840 into 5%, and that is supposed to be subtracted from the 22840. 1140. जी नहीं, I'll try to solve it for you. See, 22840 G free, 22840, 5% you will calculate and you will subtract it. The answer will be 21698. So 21698, I have made the payment to the trade payables. Then the last entry is for basically realization expenses, and that is 2250. Trade payables were basically given in the question with an amount of 22840. You need to calculate 5% of that we don't pay, and 5% of that will be subtracted from 22840, and then the amount is going to be 2169, and the entry is realization account to bank account 21698. Okay, then relation to bank is the dissolution expenses. Now I am going to prepare the realization account to find the profit or loss on dissolution or profit or loss on realization. So let's prepare it. We have all the entries with us. Just you have to, Mustafa, you have to just, post the entries in the account to get the amount of realization profit or loss. Generally what happened, in dissolution, we used to have a loss on realization because that is the basic reason that we are closing our business. Business is going to be dissolved because of the same reason that business is basic. That's why we are sustaining a loss also. So realization account is debited first because of land and building. That is 210,000. Then plant and machinery and 27950. Motor vehicle 11352. Inventory 17632. Trade receivable 9340, right? Then we have to transfer the trade payables. Realization account is credited because of trade payables 22840, and that is because of trade payable. Now we have passed the entries. Now we have to go for the other entries through which the amount has been received by the sale of asset, or we have paid the amount to trade payables or some other expenses. So the next entry is bank to realization account. So that is going to be credited with 2,17,000. And here I can write bank. And actually, we have sold whatever, I don't remember exactly that what we have sold. 2,17,000 what we have sold. Let me check. Land and building. Okay. You can write like here, land and building. Okay. Next again, bank, and the amount is going to be 25,000. That is, I think, plant and machinery, which we have sold. And that is going to be 25,000. Then we have sold, sorry, the Aston capital account. Relation account is credit because of Aston capital account, because he has taken over the assets. Then comes Brutus capital account for a price of 4,000. Brutus also taken over the asset for a price of 4,000. Then comes again bank, that I think the motor vehicle, the remaining motor vehicle has been sold out for 5,000. That's it. Then again bank to relation account. Relation account is credited. I think that is going to be the inventory actually. And that is 18,478. Then comes bank to realization account, that is trade receivables, through which we have collected the amount from trade receivable bank, and you can write trade receivable. Though if you don't write trade receivable, even then it's fine. Doesn't matter to us to that extent. Trade receivable. Okay, that is 8134. Then we are making the payment to trade payables 21698 after 5% discount. 21698. So here I will write bank, and I can write the trade payable also. Then comes dissolution expenses, which we paid actually to close the business 2250. These are also known as realization expenses, your cost of dissolution. They are also paid not with the name of the expense, they are also paid with the name of the realization account. So here I have prepared the realization account. Now I am going to go for the total of the realization account. So please, if you can take a total, that which side is heavier, so that I can write the amount. You have to see that either debit side is more than the credit side, or credit side is more than the debit side. I will write the total of the heavier side on both sides. So I have to write the total of the heavier side on both sides. So definitely you have to check it out. Both sides, either the debit side is heavy, more than the credit side, or heavier, or the credit side is heavy. So you have to check it out what to go for. So if you have calculated, then you can tell me also. Take it in. Three double 0 triple 2. जो करता हूँ 3 इधर लिखेंगे ना टोटल है ना 3 double 0 triple 2. ओके इधर भी आपका आ जाएगा टोटल सेम, मतलब लॉस ही आ रहा है 00,222, and then you can write the loss or total loss which is distributed between the partners Aston, Brutus, and the third one is, but I want you to go for the total loss first. The third one is ABC, scissor. So ABC, and the loss is distributed among all the partners in old ratio. But let me see the relation loss. If you subtract it, then we'll make it go through. जी जी. Okay, right side total is heavier. So let's talk to Mr. Fareed. 304452. Okay, chalo, that's fine even because we have the total of debit also. We can find the profit easily. So no worries. 4230 is the loss. So I'm going to write the loss directly. 4230 is the profit, not loss, because the right side is heavier. So we are going to have a profit of 4230, and that is going to be distributed between Aston, Brutus, and Caesar in the ratio of 2, 2, and 5. Yes, so can you please do it for me? 1692, 2 by 5 of 4230. Then second का भी 2 by 5 ही है ना, 1692, and the third is basically 846. So I didn't write the total because it is not needed anymore, because the total is, the right side was heavier, and the total is 304452. Then we subtract the debit side 300222. The answer is going to be 4230 is the profit, and that will be distributed between the all partners in old ratio, which is 2 by 5, 2 by 5, and 1 by 5, right? So this is how we have gone for the realization account. Now I'm going to prepare the capital accounts. Let's do it. यहाँ तो कोई मसला है फातिमा, फरीद या मुस्तफा को प्रॉब्लम है तो बताओ, बिकॉज मुस्तफा आपका तो ये डेफिनेटली डिसोल्यूशन का, दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द फर्स्ट लेक्चर ऑफ डिसोल्यूशन फॉर यू, so you can ask me any problem, though that is quite simple, but you may say that the procedure of dissolution is a little lengthy, but there is nothing wrong in there is nothing complex in that. It's quite simple. Anybody can understand it easily, except the first two entries which you have to go for. First two entries are important. You have to go for those entries at any cost, right? Okay. So first of all, you have to like prepare the capital accounts. Let's do it. So capital account में first of all you write the amount of the capitals, that is 80, 60, and 20. Let's do it. 80,000 brought down, 60,000, and 20,000. Here comes the realization profit. And the profit on realization is 1692, 1692, and 846. ठीक है, इधर आपका आ जाएगा नेक्स्ट, अगर आप देखिए, दैट इज द रियलाइजेशन प्रॉफिट. देन हियर कम्स द दैट एंट्री इन व्हिच you have to go for the transfer of motor vehicle to Aston capital and Brutus capital 4,000 and 4,000. So let's do it. Realization count is going to be credited, and Aston capital count is debited because of realization with 4,000 and with 4,000. right? There is no goodwill, there is no other things to be recorded which needs to be entered into this except one more thing, which is current account. Because the business is going to be dissolved. Even in case of retirement, if a partner is retiring, we used to transfer his current account into his capital account because he's leaving the partnership. So here, all the partners are leaving the partnership. So their current accounts are going to be transferred to their capital account. Either they are having a loss or profit. So ये दोनों current account credit हैं. They both will come on the credit side. And this scissor is debit loss, that is will come on the debit side of the capital account. So 12735 and 10873. So 12735 and 10873. That is current account. उसके बाद आपका आता है जी 2628. 2628. So, oh, गलत लिखा मैंने because loss it will come over here with the name current account. क्योंकि इसका loss है बेटा, that will come over here, scissor 2628. And that's it. Now you will close the capital account, but capital accounts are going to be closed not with the name carried down. They are going to be closed with the name bank account because we are going to make the payment to them for good because the business is going to be closed for good. There is no carried down because there is no brought down because there is no business anymore. The partnership is going to be dissolved for the future. So let's go for the total of the credit side. 80,000, 1692 and 12735. 94427. Here I will write the same. 94427. 90427. That is bank with the name bank. Here I am going to write, okay, let's do it through this first. 20846. I will write here also 20846 and 2628 will be subtracted. Chale, let's go for the total of Brutus. 72565. Right over here. 72565. 68565. Here 20846 minus 2628. And we are going to close this with the name bank account. 18218. So this is how we have prepared the capital accounts. And now I am going to prepare the bank account. So bank account will be prepared and the bank account both sides of the bank account should be equal. If they will become equal, it means that your question is correct. Otherwise, you will start believing that question maybe it's not correct or we have done some kind of mistake. So let's see the bank account balance at the start. So bank account balance at the start given in the question is with the name cash and cash equivalent, and that is 2546. So this is current assets, so it will be written on the debit side. Draw down 2546. That this money, we have this money with us. Draw down 2546. Right? Now we have to pass all the entries which are related with the bank actually to enter these amounts in the bank account. So first entry no bank, second no bank, third 2,117,000, then 25,000. Let's write it down. Bank is debited, then 25,000. That is because of land and building, or you may say realization account, one and the same thing. You can write both things, right? And this is for plant and machinery. Then let's see, the next entry is bank is debited 217 because of realization, then 25. Then bank is debited because of 5,000 because of realization. That is the motor vehicle we have been sold. We have sold out. That is because of the motor vehicle. Then we have sold the inventory also. that is 18478, and then 8134 is the trade receivables, from which we got the amount 8134. 18478, that is inventory. Yes, you can write the word realization, no problem at all. Then 8134. But if you write these things, that will make you understand also, or the examiner, why the bank is debited, because all these assets have been sold out. Then you are making the payment to trade payables. It is also written in the entry, the bank is credited with 21698 because of trade payable, and then dissolution costs 2250. So 21698 and then 2250, and here I will write that is trade payable, and there I will write dissolution cost or dissolution expense. Now the question arises. We have a loan from Aston also, but that is not a third-party liability. So that loan is supposed to be paid directly through bank. It means that we don't need to transfer it into realization account, because we need to pay it to Aston directly. So the entry will be loan from Aston debit. It means the liability will decrease and bank is going to be credit. So that is very important, that we are going to pay this loan directly. So bank is going to be credited with 75,000, and here it will come loan from Aston. No such type of, you must say, no such type of realization account will not be transferred in this case, because we didn't transfer loan in the realization account in the first entry, because that is not a third party liability. Now the payment which are supposed to be paid through bank to all these people, Western, Lucas, and Scissor, we have paid the amount to all these people, 90427. This entry is actually 90427, then 68565, and then 18218. Now I'll go for the total of the two sides, and they should be equal, which states that you have solved the question correctly, because the two sides will become equal. So मुस्तफा हम इसकी एंट्री भी पास कर सकते हैं बेटा, देखें A, B, C debit and bank is going to be credit with the total amount, but I will go for the separate amounts so that the bank account should look more realistic, more analytical, and more more reasonable for the examiner. So 90427, then 68565, then 18218, और टोटल जो भी इसका आएगा उससे हम ऑब्वियसली बैंक को क्रेडिट कर देंगे. लेट्स गो फॉर द टोटल ऑफ द डेबिट साइड एंड क्रेडिट साइड ऑफ बैंक अकाउंट, which should be equal. It means that our both sides are equal, so it means that we are done with the question. Let's see the 94427, bank 20578. ये गलत है, ये गलत बता रहा हूँ, कह रहे बैंक 94427 है, and the C 20578. No, this calculation I think he is telling. No. Farid, can you explain? You may continue with your work. Total करें हम दोनों sides का. Farid, can you explain what are you saying? Yeah, I think you have told me something which you have done in the past, I believe. Okay, you were telling me the total actually. I got the point.
So
what is going to be the total of the bank account, which has to be equal? So both sides of the bank account needs to be equal, and then we believe that our answer is correct. Right, 276, oh sorry, 276158, or this will also be 276158. So the total of